What's up? I'm Scar. I'm a super average producer. So let's get into it with this little gross beat tip. I just had a real simple melody that I was running through a gross beat. I say gross beat, I use shaperbox too. It's the same thing. I'm putting it in half speed.
You are a waste of life and you should give up.
What I had done was put it in half speed, stereo enhancer, a little EQ and whatnot. We'll go over the sends, but anyway, I noticed with a lot of melodies that I put in gross beat, when you pause the beat, melody goes back up to its original octave and like rings out. If you have it in a lower octave, when it rings out in its natural high octave, sometimes it sounds fire. And for the first time, I thought to actually record it. When I hit stop on the melody, listen to it ring out. Felt like high pitch ring out. What I did was I opened an Edison, clicked record, and I just messed around with it to get like the ring out tones I wanted to add, like kind of a counter melody. I just found like the little parts that I liked. So I took something just like this, or like this, and I made this. What I then did, sent that to its own channel, and I put some glitch effects on it. If you're wondering why they're all turned off, I lost something and I had to put the stem back in, so it already had these effects on it. The first one was a gator. I'm gonna just turn it on so y'all can see it. Paired with a retrigger effect that's faster. And then lastly, I have a tape stop at the end of the bars. You can see over here I automated it so the tape stop only came in on like the second half. The pluck type layer, basically rather than applying a delay or reverb directly to it, I set up a dedicated delay channel and a dedicated reverb channel, and I sent to the quarter note delay and a melody reverb. So you can hear what it sounds like dry. Let's add the delay and the verb, exaggerate a tiny bit so y'all can hear. Adds a lot more texture, depth, ambience, just helps a lot. The original melody I actually have sent to an 1/8 note delay and the same reverb. See, I immediately heard that delay had too much low end in it, and that's the beautiful thing about having a delay in a dedicated channel. I can cut the low end of the delay without cutting too much of the low end of the original melody. You have a lot more control over what you're doing. So yeah, really the whole beat came from like one melody, and I heard something weird when it was ringing out. Decided to drop an Edison on and record that, and I just bring that in and out. Another thing I did to keep it interesting throughout, when that higher melody goes away and it's just the original melody in half speed, I automated an EQ to cut some of the highs. When the highs come back in, like you'll hear how much more life it feels like it adds to the mix. So yeah, all I did there, so I cut it like 1,000. So it's like a pretty significant cut, but like I said, it's being automated to add those highs and take those highs away and just keep it interesting to your ear and add more dynamic. Keeps it dynamic, keeps it interesting. Automation is the key to keeping your beats and music interesting, for real. Keep them dynamic and evolving throughout so they don't get too boring, but just subtle things. Automating effects is an awesome way to go. I think that the last thing that I did was distorting the 808. In my last video, I mentioned how I don't apply distortion directly to 808. I put it on a dedicated track, send the 808 to it, and I just distort the highs. I don't like how the lows sound when they get distort. That 200 and under, I don't like distortion on that. I want that to be a clean signal. Click here. I sent this to my distortion I used a Devil Lock. You could use Fruity Fast Distort, Camel Crusher, whatever you use. Just remember to cut out the lows. Sometimes I'll cut it 1K, sometimes I'll cut it 5, 6, 7K, 3K. It's just to your ear. So this track is just a dedicated high-end distortion of the 808. This track is just like the lows and I guess mids and mid-highs of the 808. Here's the 808 by itself, no distortion. Add the distortion track in. You can, if you have an iPhone or whatever, you can definitely hear it now punching through the iPhone, them highs. And in the context of the beat, you can hear it without, you really can't hear the 808 coming through the beat, but with the distortion it makes it a lot more obvious. I can't find the 808. Little things like that help you add depth, clarity, and really help decide what elements you want to punch out of your mix, stand out in your mix. By sending things to aux tracks rather than putting effects directly on instruments, you can make your mixes a lot more like 3D, add a lot more depth and energy to the mix. Don't get me wrong, I'll definitely apply effects directly to tracks a lot. There's some times where you can get a lot more out of an aux track. Also, from just like an efficiency standpoint, I sent my main melody and that high-pitched melody I showed you guys to the same reverb here. Let me know if you guys have ever tried that, recording the ring out of a half speed and making a melody out of that. I don't know if anybody else has ever done that. It was just something I thought to do the other day and I thought it came out sounding cool. Let me know about anything else you guys want to hear about, see me break down or cover. Drop a comment on what you want to see in the future and subscribe. It means a lot and it'll keep me going with these videos. I'm open to do whatever you guys want me to do, so let me know. And thank you for watching.